Good evening, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a cordial welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest, Lieutenant General Dr. Bipin Puri. Ma'am, sisters, distinguished guests, and dear parents, we sincerely hope you enjoyed today's program. Don't fear, because I am with you. Don't be afraid, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will surely help you. I will hold you with my righteous strong hand. Gaining inspiration and strength from the powerful and promising scriptures of the Holy Bible, our founder, Mary Ward, grew fearless, invincible, and unconquerable. Emboldened by her ardent faith in God, she believed that He would strengthen and help her every step of the way in her noble mission. Holding on to the righteous, strong hand of the Lord, she set out to bring unprecedented change in the world. Governed by religious intolerance, she realized the need to educate the girl child. Mary Ward had a compelling vision that women in time to come will do much. Thus, infused with passion, thoughtfulness, resilience, and dedication, she transcended the shackles of gender and class and began her prolific journey in 1609 when she founded a religious order, the Institute of the Blessed Virgin Mary, IBVM, and opened her first school for girls in St. Omer. Her arduous efforts have enabled the education of countless young women across the world. Her goal was taken forward by the Loreto sisters, who set up institutions in different parts of the world to continue the legacy left behind by this stalwart. With the intent to set up an institution on the soils of Lucknow, 6 visionary sisters, headed by Mother Joseph Hogan, hurdled through several predicaments and eventually stood victorious in their noble endeavor of serving humanity by laying the foundation of Loreto Convent in the year 1872. This noble mission of the Loreto nuns in Lucknow led to the subsequent establishment of St. Agnes's Loreto Day School in the year 1904 by our first principal, Sister Claire Miller, followed by the establishment of our outreach schools, Pushpa Vidyalaya and Jagrati. This year marks the sesquicentennial jubilee of our tenacious Loreto sisters, who have undeniably brought immense glory to their calling. Their efforts over the past 150 years has produced a vibrant history of unparalleled change and unrivaled growth. Let us now commence the much-awaited program of the day. We are indeed grateful and indebted to have among us our esteemed chief guest, Lieutenant General Dr. Bipin Puri, who has graciously agreed to be with us this evening. Sir is a veteran in the field of medical science. His dedication, devotion, perseverance, and erudition has won him several laurels. Sir had completed his MBBS in the year 1978 and his Master's in General Surgery in the year 1985 from the Armed Forces Medical College in Pune. He then did his post-graduation in maternal and child health pediatric surgery in the year 1993 from the Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research in Chandigarh. He has served for 40 years in the Army in various capacities. He had superannuated as Director General from the Armed Forces Medical Services on 31st October 2019. He was awarded the Param Vishisht Seva Medal and Vishisht Seva Medal for his distinguished service in the Army. Sir has more than 30 years of teaching, training, and research experience in various academic posts. His contribution in the field of pediatric surgery has been exceptional. He has been instrumental in paving the way for the NUSS procedure for pectus excavatum deformity in India and also in upgrading, restructuring, and modernization of the pediatric surgery setup in the AFMS. He has also served as an honorary surgeon to the Honorable President of India in the year 2016. Sir has been a key author of more than 50 research publications published in reputed indexed journals all over the world. Role of deflux in VUR, management of anterior abdominal wall defects neonates, outcome of posterior uthereal valves, and vascular malformation in children are the key research areas. He has been awarded various prestigious fellowships, including FIAPS, FAMS, etc. He holds membership of governing bodies of various renowned institutions of the country. He is a member of the Medical Advisory Committee of NMC, member of the governing body of NBEMS, and also member of the governing and executive bodies of AIIMS and other reputed academic institutions of the country. Sir is currently working in the capacity of the Vice Chancellor at King George's Medical University, Lucknow, which he had joined on 10th August 2021. Sir is indeed the epitome and embodiment of loyalty, sincerity, diligence, and selfless love for humanity. We are immensely grateful to you, sir, for sparing time from your busy schedule to be with us this evening. We once again welcome you and ma'am, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. I would now like to call upon our head girl, Ratika Srivastav, to welcome Sir with a bouquet. the Vice Head Girl, Sania Mirza, to welcome Sir with a card. And the Captain of the House of Joy, Ragat Aftab, to give Sir a tiny token of appreciation. Thank you, Sir, for accepting our tiny token of gratitude. I quote Dalai Lama's profound words: "The purpose of our lives is to be happy." And here we have, coming up on stage, a group of happy, charming, and immensely talented students of Pushpa Vidyalaya to welcome and to captivate the hearts of all present here with their warm, expressive, and enthralling dance. The word of God in Psalm chapter 100, verse 2 says, "Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs." Indeed, the best way to glorify God is to sing to him joyful songs with gladness in our hearts. Overwhelmed with gratitude and reverence for all the mighty blessings that God has bestowed upon each one of us, we now have the students of classes 10 and 12 who will sing the hymn, "You Raise Me Up." In the words of the American poet Emily Dickinson, "The soul should always stand ajar, ready to welcome the ecstatic experience." Dear ladies and gentlemen, let us all allow our souls to stand ajar, ready to welcome the ecstasy, exuberance, and euphoria that awaits as we invite our chief guest, Lieutenant General Dr. Bipin Puri, to kindly come up and inaugurate the program. Thank you, sir. Based on the world-renowned play Pygmalion of the Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw, set in the 20th century, My Fair Lady is a play that is centered around the lives of a Cockney flower girl, Eliza Doolittle, and a professor of phonetics, Henry Higgins. Two people not only separated by class, but also by etiquettes and manners. Higgins believes that the art of articulating explicitly defines success, and that anyone, regardless of one's upbringing, can be made to master that art. Hell-bent on validating his notion, he makes a wager with his friend Colonel Pickering to not only transform an unlettered girl into a lady, but also to pass her off as a duchess at an embassy ball. Despite his cynical nature and difficulty in understanding women, Higgins grows attached to her. What turn will their relationship take once the training is over? Will Eliza go back to the old way of living? Or will Higgins accept his feelings for her? Let us find out in the stage adaptation of the play My Fair Lady. So, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves to witness the dramatization of this magical play.
I quote Alfred Lord Tennyson, "If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I would walk through my garden forever." Unquote. Love indeed is an emotion which overcomes all impediments, transcending over the shackles of class and education to unite two people who complete one another. It is this unusual confluence of two immensely different people that shall be portrayed here today, where poor flower girl's unrelenting efforts in quest for a better life acts as a turning point in her life as well as Mr. Higgins's, where the former is impertinent in matters and uncouth in behavior, the latter is an accomplished linguist, a perfect embodiment of refined manners. This is a magical tale of two contradicting characters who bump into each other on one fateful day. What follows is a ride of light-hearted banter and jovial conversations that is sure to bring a huge smile on everyone's face.
I'll go find a cab, Freddy.
Taxi! Taxi!
Ow!
I'm frightfully sorry.
Two bunches of violets stuck in the mud, a full-size wages. Why don't you look where you're going?
Oh, well, go and get a taxi, Freddy. Do you want me to catch pneumonia?
I'm sorry, Mother. I'll get a taxi right away. Sorry.
Ow! He's your son, is he? Well, if you'd done your duty by him as a mother should, you wouldn't let him spoil a bow girl's flowers and then run away without buying.
Well, just go on about your business, my girl.
Two bunches of violets trod in the mud. I say, Captain, buy a flower off a bow girl.
Sorry, I haven't any change.
I can change half a crown.
I really haven't any.
Thank you, sir. Yo, be careful. Better give him a flower for it. There, behind the pillar, taking down every blessed word you're saying. I ain't done nothing wrong. I've a right to sell flowers if I keep out the cup. I'm a respectable girl, so help me. I never spoke to him except to ask him to buy a flower off me.
What's the row?
What's all this blooming noise? There's a tea taking her down. Oh, sir, you don't know what it means to me. They'll take away my character and drive me on the streets for speaking to gentlemen.
There. Who's hurting you? You silly girl. Why must you vex everyone with your obnoxious Listen Grove lingo and prude manners of the Covent Garden?
On my Bible oath, I never said a word.
Can you tell where I come from?
Hoxton.
Well, who said I didn't? Blimey, you know everything you do. Tell him where he comes from if you want to go fortune telling.
Cheltenham, Harrow, Cambridge, and India. I have thought of that. Perhaps I will someday.
He's no gentleman, he ain't, to interfere with the bow girl.
Simple phonetics, the science of speech. That's my profession, also my hobby. I can place a man within 6 miles. I can place him within 2 miles in London. Sometimes within 2 streets. Oh yes, quite a fat one.
Let him mind his own business and leave a bow girl.
Woman, cease this detestable boohooing instantly, or seek the shelter of some other place of worship.
I've a right to be here of our life, same as you.
A woman who utters such depressing and disgusting sounds has no right to be anywhere and no right to live. Remember that you are a human being with a soul and the divine gift of articulate speech. That your native language is the language of Shakespeare and Milton. And don't stand there crooning like a pigeon.
Ow!
Look at her, prisoner of the gutters, condemned by every syllable she utters. By right, she should be taken out and hanged. The cold-blooded murder of the English tongue.
Ow!
Listen, dropping H's everywhere, speaking English any way they like.
Gam!
I ask you, sir, what sort of word is that? It's ow and gum that keep her in her place, not her wretched clothes and dirty face. Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? Well, sir, in 6 months, I could pass her off as a duchess at an embassy ball. I could even get her a place as a lady's maid or a shop assistant, which certainly requires better English.
Yeah, what's that, you say?
Yes, I could pass you off as the Queen of Sheba.
How? You don't believe that, Captain?
Henry Higgins, author of Higgins Universal Alphabet.
I came from India to meet you.
I was going to India to meet you. Pickering, where are you staying?
At the Carlton?
No, you're not. You're staying at 27 Whipple Street. Come with me.
Right you are. Buy a flower, kind sir. I'm sure some lodging.
Liar. You said you could change half a crown.
Here, take the whole blooming basket for 6 pence.
Ah, the church. A reminder.
All I want is a room somewhere far away from the cold night end, with one enormous tent out. Wouldn't it be lovely? Lots of chocolates for me to eat, lots of gold making lots of heat. One place warm and warm feet out. Wouldn't it be lovely? Oh, so lovely sitting next to me, good. Please turn. I would never budge till spring. Cramped over the windowsill, someone's head resting on my knee. Warm and tender as he can be. Oh, takes good care of me. Ah, wouldn't it be lovely? All I want is a room somewhere far away from the cold night air, with one enormous tent out. Wouldn't it be lovely? Lots of chocolates for me to eat, lots of gold making lots of meat. One place warm and warm feet out. Wouldn't it be lovely? Someone's head resting on my knee. Warm and tender as he can be. Oh, takes good care of me. Ah, wouldn't it be lovely? Lovely, 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 lovely. Wouldn't it be lovely?
After the chance encounter with Professor Higgins, and enticed by his claims of teaching her how to speak well so that she can become a lady in a flower shop, Eliza makes her way to Wimple Street. Here, a fascinating encounter begins between them. When Pickering challenges Higgins, he finally agrees to take her on as his student and transform her from a simple flower girl into a duchess. After practicing relentlessly for a day straight, the trio find themselves extremely tired. Yet, Professor Higgins is reluctant to take a pause.
I say, Higgins, couldn't we turn on the lights?
Nonsense. You hear much better in the dark.
But it's a fearful strain listening to all these wild sounds. I'm quite done up for this morning.
Mr. Higgins, are you there?
What is it, Mrs. Pierce?
A young woman wants to see you, sir.
A young woman? Does she want? Has she an interesting accent? Let's have her up. Show her up, Mrs. Pierce.
Very well, sir. It's for you to say.
Well, this is rather a bit of luck. I'll show you how I make records. We'll set her talking, and then take her down in Bell's visible speech, then in prodromic, and then get her on the phonograph so that you can turn her as often as you like with the transcript right before you.
This is the young woman, sir.
Why, this is the girl I jotted down last night. She is no use. I've got all the records I want of the Listen Grove lingo, and I shall not waste another cylinder on it. I don't want you.
Don't be so saucy. You ain't heard what I come for yet? Did you tell him? I come in a taxi.
Nonsense, girl. What do you think? A gentleman like Mr. Higgins cares what you came in.
Ah, we are proud. He ain't above giving lessons, not him. I heard him say so. Well, I ain't come here to ask for any compliment. And if my money is not good enough, I can go elsewhere.
Good enough for what?
Good enough for you. Now you know, don't you? I'm come to have my lessons, I am, and to buy for 'em too. Make no mistake.
Well, what do you expect me to say to you?
Well, if you was a gentleman, you might ask me to sit down, I think. Don't I tell you, I'm bringing you business.
Pickering, shall we ask this bitch to sit down, or shall we throw her out of the window?
Ow! I won't be called a baggage, but I've offered to buy like any lady.
What is it you want, my girl?
I want to be a lady in a flower shop, instead of selling at the corner of Tottenham Court Road. But they won't take me unless I can talk more genteel. He said he could teach me. Well, here I am, ready to buy him, not asking for any fiver. And he treats me as if I was dirt. I know what lessons cost as well as you do, and I'm ready to buy.
How much?
Now you're talking. I thought you'd come off it when you saw a chance of getting back a bit of what you jacked at me last night.
Sit down.
Sit down, girl. Do as you're told.
What is your name?
Eliza Doolittle.
Won't you sit down, Miss Doolittle?
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
Well, how much do you propose to pay me for the lessons?
Oh, I know what's right. A lady friend of mine gets French lessons for 18 pence an hour from a real French gentleman. You wouldn't have the face to ask me the same for teaching me my own language as you would for French. So, I won't give more than a shilling. Take it or leave it.
You know, Pickering, if we were to consider this shilling not as a simple shilling, but as a percentage of this girl's income, it works out as fully equivalent to about 60 or 70 pounds from a millionaire. By George, that's the biggest offer I've ever had.
60 pounds! I ain't got 60 pounds, where did I get 60
Oh,
pounds?
hold your tongue.
But I ain't got 60 pounds! Oh.
Don't cry, you silly girl. Sit down. Nobody is going to touch your money.
Somebody is going to touch you with a broomstick if you don't stop sniveling.
Ah, one would think you was my father.
If I decide to teach you, I'll be worse than 2 fathers to you. Here,
What's this for?
to wipe your eyes, to wipe any part of your face that feels moist. Remember, that's your handkerchief and that's your sleeve. Don't mistake one for the other if you wish to become a lady in a shop.
Higgins, I'm interested. What about your boast that you could pass her off as a duchess at the embassy ball? I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive if you make that good. I'll bet you all the expenses of the experiment. You can't do it. And I'll even pay for the lessons.
Ah, you're real good. Thank you, Captain.
This is almost irresistible. She's so deliciously low, so horribly dirty.
Ow, I ain't dirty. I washed my face and hands before I come, I did.
I'll take it. I'll make a duchess of this draggle-tailed gutter snipe.
Ow.
I'll start today. Now, this moment. Mrs. Spears, take her away and clean her. Sandpaper if it won't come off any other way. Is there a good fire in the kitchen?
Yes, but
Take all her clothes off and burn them. Ring up and order new ones. Wrap her up in brown paper until they come.
You're no gentleman, you're not to talk of such things. I'm a good girl, I am. And I know what the likes of you are. I do.
We want none of your slum prudery here, young woman. You've got to learn to behave like a duchess. Mrs. Spears, take her away. If she gives you any trouble, wallop her.
I'll call the police, I will.
but I've got no place to put her.
Put her in the dustbin.
Oh, come, Higgins. Be reasonable.
You must be reasonable, Mr. Higgins. Really, you must. You can't walk over everybody like this.
I walk over everybody? My dear Mrs. Spears, my dear Pickering, I never had the slightest intention of walking over anybody. All I proposed is that we should be kind to this poor girl. If I did not express myself clearly, it was because I did not wish to hurt her or you.
But, sir, you can't take a girl up like that as if you are picked up a pebble on the beach.
I'm not.
Why not? But you don't know anything about her. What about her parents? She may be married.
Gam.
There, as the girl very properly said. Ah,
Who'd marry me?
by George, Eliza, streets will be strewn with bodies of men shooting themselves for your sake before I'm done with you.
Here, I'm going away. He's off his champions. I don't want no Barbies teaching me.
Oh, indeed, I'm mad. Am I? Very well, Mrs. Spears, you needn't order any new clothes for her. Throw her out.
Stop, Mr. Higgins. I won't allow it. Who won't your parents? Huh?
I ain't got no parents.
There you are. She ain't got no parents. What's all the fuss about? The girl doesn't belong to anybody and she is no use to anybody but me. Take her upstairs.
What's to become of her? Is she to be paid anything? Oh, do be sensible, sir.
What on earth will she want with money? She'll have her food and her clothes.
Mr. Higgins, I must know on what terms the girl is to be here. What is to become of her after you finish your teaching? You must look ahead a little, sir.
What's to become of her if I leave her in the gutter? Answer me that, Mrs. Spears.
That's her own business, Mr. Higgins, not yours.
Well, when I've done with her, we can throw her back in the gutter, and then it will be her own business again. So that's all right.
How you've no feeling heart in you. You do not care for nothing but yourself. Here, I've had enough of this. I'm going.
Eliza, have some chocolates.
How do I know what might be in them? I've heard of girls being drugged by the like of you.
Pledge of good faith, Eliza. I eat one half, and you eat the other. You shall have boxes of them, barrels of them, every day. You live on them.
I wouldn't have either. Only I'm delighted like to take it out of my mouth.
Think of it, Eliza. Think of chocolates and taxis and gold and...
No, I don't want no golds and the diamonds. I'm a good girl, I am.
Excuse me, Higgins. I must really interfere. Mrs. Spears is quite right. If this girl is to put herself in your hands for 6 months for an experiment in teaching, she must understand thoroughly what she's doing.
Eliza, you are to stay here for the next 6 months and learn to speak beautifully, like a lady in a shop. If you're good and do whatever you're told, you shall have a proper bedroom and have lots to eat and money to buy chocolates and take rides in taxis. But if you're naughty and idle, you shall sleep in the back kitchen among the black beetles and be walloped by Mrs. Spears with a broomstick. At the end of 6 months, you shall go to the Buckingham Palace in a carriage, beautifully dressed. But if the king finds out you're not a lady, you shall be taken by the police to the Tower of London, where your head will be cut off as a warning to other presumptuous flower girls. If you're not found out, you shall have a present of 7 and 6 to begin life with as a lady in a shop. If you refuse this offer, you shall be the most ungrateful, wicked girl, and the angels will weep for you. Now, are you satisfied, Pickering? Could I put it more plainly or fairly, Mrs. Spears?
Come with me, Eliza.
Bundle her off to the bathroom.
You're a great bully, you are. I won't stay here if I don't like, and I won't let nobody wallop me.
Don't answer back, girl.
If I'd known what I was letting myself in for, I wouldn't have come up here. I've always been a good girl.
Higgins, forgive the bluntness, but if I'm to be in this business, I shall feel responsible for the girl. I hope it's clearly understood that no advantage is to be taken of her position.
Dancing, sacred, I assure you.
while his daughter had been putting in her heart and soul to learn the nuances of the English language, Mr. Doolittle, a dastard by character and an alcoholic by nature, whiles away his time in a bar.
Come on, Doolittle. Hop it now. Out you go. I ain't running no charity bazaar.
Thanks for your hospitality, George.
You can buy your own drinks now, Alfie Doolittle. Fallen into a tub of butter you have.
What? What tub of butter?
Your daughter Eliza. Oh, you're a lucky man.
What are you talking about? What about Eliza?
He don't know her own father, and he don't know. Moved in with a swell Eliza has. Left here in a taxi, all by herself, and ain't been home for 3 days. And then I get a message from her this morning. She wants a thing sent over to 27A Wimpole Street, care of Professor Higgins. And what things does she want? Her bird cage and her Chinese fan. She also says, never mind about sending any clothes.
Oh, I know she had a career in front of her. The sun is shining on Alfred B. Doolittle.
A man was made to help support his children, which is the right and proper thing to do.
Overjoyed after learning of his daughter's company, Mr. Doolittle concocts a plan to attain some benefit out of the arrangement and approaches Mr. Higgins.
Mr. Higgins, you simply cannot go on working the girl this way, making her say her alphabet over and over again, from sun up to sun down, even during the meals. When will it stop?
When she does it properly, of course. Is that all, Mrs. Pierce?
No, sir, the mail.
Pay the bills and say no to the invitations.
There's another letter from that American millionaire, Ezra D. Willingford. He still wants you to lecture for his Moral Reform League.
Throw it away.
It's the third letter he's written to you, sir. You should at least answer it.
All right. Leave it on the desk. I'll get to it.
If you please, sir, there's a dustman downstairs, Alfred Doolittle, who wants to see you. He says you have his daughter here.
Phew, I say.
Send him. Oh no, I think not. If there's any trouble, he shall have it with me, not I with him.
Doolittle, sir.
Professor Higgins, here.
Morning, Governor. I've come about a very serious matter.
What do you want, Doolittle?
I want my daughter. That's what I want.
Of course you do. You're her father, aren't you? Well, I'm glad to see there's some spark of family feeling left. She's upstairs. Take her away at once.
What?
Take her away? Do you suppose I'm going to keep your daughter for you?
Now, look here, Governor. Is it reasonable? Is it fair to take advantage of a man like this? The girl belongs to me. You've got her. Where do I come in?
How dare you come here and attempt to blackmail me? You sent her here.
Now, don't take a man up like that, Governor.
The police shall take you up. This is planned a plot to extort money by threats. I shall telephone the police.
Have I asked a brass farthing? I leave it to this gentleman here. Have I said a word about money?
What else did you come for?
What would a man come for? Be human, Governor?
Alfred, you sent her here on purpose.
So help me, Governor, I never did.
Then how did you know she was here?
I will tell ya. If only you let me get a word in. I am willing to tell ya. I am wanting to tell ya. I am waiting to tell ya.
You know, Pickering, this chap has a certain natural gift of rhetoric. Observe the rhythm of his native with no smiles. I'm willing to tell you. I'm wanting to tell you. I'm waiting to tell you. That's the Welsh strain in him. How did you know Eliza was here if you didn't send her?
She sent back for her luggage. I got to hear about it. She said she wore no clothes. What was I to think from that, Governor? I ask you as a parent, what was I to think from that?
Mrs. Spears, Eliza's father has come to take her away. Give her to him.
Now, wait a minute, Governor, wait a minute. You and me are the men of the world, ain't we?
Oh, men of the world, are we? You'd better go, Mrs. Spears.
I think so, indeed, sir.
Governor, I have taken a sort of fancy to you. And if you want the girl, I am not set on having her back. But what I might be open to is an arrangement. The girl belongs to me. You've got her. Where do I come in?
You know, Pickering, if we were to take this man in hand for 3 months, he could choose between a seat in the cabinet and a popular pulpit in Wales. I suppose we ought to give him a fiver.
He'll make bad use of it, I'm afraid.
Not me, so help me, Governor, I won't.
This is irresistible. Let's give him 10.
No, Governor, 10 pounds is a lot of money. You give me what I ask for. Not a penny less, not a penny more.
5 pounds, I think you said.
Thank you, Governor.
I won't.
Beg pardon, miss.
I won't sigh this Rudy waltz one more time.
Blimey, it's a never thought she'd clean up so good looking. She does me credit, don't she, Governor?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
You hold your tongue and don't give these gentlemen none of your lips. And if you have any trouble with her, Governor, give her a few licks of the strap. That's the way to improve her mind. Morning, gentlemen. Cheerio, Liza.
Here? What did he come for?
Say your vows.
I know my vows. Knew them before I came.
If you know them, say them.
I-A-I-O-U.
Stop! Say A-E-I-O-U.
That's what I said. I-A-I-O-U. I've been saying them for 3 days and I won't say them no more.
I know it's difficult, Miss Doolittle, but try to understand.
No use explaining Pickering. As a military man, you ought to know that. Drilling is what she needs.
Have a little patience with her, Higgins.
Of course. Say A.
You ain't got no heart, you ain't.
A.
I.
Eliza, I promise you, you will say your vows correctly before this day is out, or there'll be no lunch, no dinner, and no chocolates.
Just you wait, Henry Higgins. You'll be sorry, but
back to their practice session. While Eliza is unable to meet Professor Higgins's expectations, where Higgins is impatient and angry, Colonel Pickering is constantly encouraging her to do better.
The Rhine ain't spine, stays mildly in the plain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Didn't I say that?
No, Eliza, you didn't sigh that. You didn't even say that. Every night, before you get into bed, where you used to say your prayers, I want you to repeat, the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain 50 times. You will get much further with the Lord if you learn not to offend his ears. Now, for your ages.
Control yourself, Higgins. Give the girl a chance.
Of course, no one expects her to get it right the first time. Watch closely, Eliza. You see this flame? Every time you say your age correctly, the flame will waver. Every time you drop your age, the flame will remain stationary. That's how you will know you've done it correctly. In time, your ear will hear the difference. Now, listen carefully. In Hertford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen. Now repeat after me. In Hertford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
No, no, no! Have you no ear at all?
Should I do it over?
No, please no. We must start from the very beginning. Do this. Ha, 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 ha.
Ha, 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 ha.
Go on, go on.
Ha, 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 ha.
The girl, Higgins.
Go on, Eliza, go on.
Higgins, the girl.
How kind of you to let me come. Kind of you, kind of you. Now listen, Eliza. How kind of you to let me come.
How kind of you to let me come.
No, kind of you. It's just like cup of tea. Kind of you, cup of tea. Say, cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
No, no. A cup of tea. It's awfully good cake. I wonder where Mrs. Pierce gets it.
First rate. And the strawberry tarts are delicious. And did you try the plain cake?
Try it again, Eliza.
And did you try the...
Pickering! Try it again. Say, a cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
Can't you hear the difference? Put your tongue forward until it squeezes against the top of your lower teeth. Now say, cup.
Cup.
Now say, of.
Off.
Now say cup, 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 cup. Of.
Cup, 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 cup. Of. Cup, cup, cup. Of. Cup, cup, cup. Of.
Higgins has a blistering headache. Eliza is tired. Colonel Pickering is half asleep, listening to them multiple times. Higgins uses various methods to improve Eliza's speech, to make her socially acceptable and more sophisticated. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and they have been practicing without any success. Will Eliza be able to become a lady? Or will she have to go back to Covent Garden, making Higgins lose the bet?
Now, Eliza, I have these marbles for you. 4, 5, 6 marbles. There we are. Now, I want you to read this and enunciate each word just as if the marbles were not there in your mouth. With blackest moss, the flower pots were thickly crusted, one and all, each word clear as a bell.
I say, Higgins, are those pebbles really necessary? Perhaps the poem is too difficult for the girl. Try a simpler one.
Go on, Eliza. What happened? Why did you stop?
I think I swallowed one.
Oh, don't worry. I have plenty more. The rye. Oh no, Eliza. The rain in Spain stays
Higgins, it must be 3 o'clock in the morning. Do be reasonable.
I'm always reasonable. If I can go on with a blistering headache, you can too, Eliza.
I have a heartache too.
Here. I know you're tired. I know your head aches. I know your nerves are as raw as meat in a butcher's window. But think of what you're trying to accomplish. Think what you're dealing with. The majesty and grandeur of the English language. It's the greatest possession we have. The noblest sentiments that ever flowed in the hearts of men are contained in its extraordinary, imaginative, and musical mixtures of sounds. That's what you've set yourself to conquer, Eliza, and conquer it you will. Now, try it again.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
What was that?
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
I think she's got it. I think she's got it.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
By George, she's got it. By George, she's got it. Progress, Pickering. The time has come to try her out.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Higgins?
Quite well. Thank you, Mrs. Pierce. And you?
Very well, sir. Thank you.
Splendid. Let's test her in public and see how she fares. Where does one buy a lady's gown?
White lace, of course.
How do you know that?
Common knowledge.
We mustn't get her anything too flowery. I despise those gowns with a weed here and a weed there. Something simple, modest, and elegant is what's called for. Perhaps with a sash. Yes, just right.
You've all been working much too hard. I think the strain is beginning to show. Eliza, I don't care what Mr. Higgins says. Now, you must put down your books and go to bed.
with the intention of testing Eliza, Colonel Pickering and Professor Higgins take the former, attired appropriately and trained properly, to a race, a place that shall witness the confluence of the prominent Londoners.
What is that?
Mother? Mother?
Henry, I'm most provoked. I've heard you've bought a common flower girl from the Covent Garden.
Oh, she'll be all right. I've taught her to speak properly, and she has strict orders as to her behavior. She's to keep to two subjects: the weather and everybody's health. Sort of fine day and how do you do, and not let herself go on things in general. Help her along and you'll be quite safe.
Safe? To talk about our health in the middle of a race? Where is the girl now?
Being pinned. Some of the clothes we bought for her didn't quite fit. I told Pickering we should have taken her with us.
Ah, Mrs. Ainsford Hill.
Oh, damn. Are all these people with you, Mrs. Higgins? Is this your celebrated son?
I'm sorry to say, my celebrated son has no manners. He may be the life and soul of Royal Society soirees, but he's rather trying on some commonplace occasions. Ah, Colonel Pickering, you're just in time for tea.
Thank you, Mrs. Higgins. May I introduce Miss Eliza Doolittle.
My dear Miss Doolittle,
How kind of you to let come.
delighted, my dear. Mrs. Ainsford Hill, Miss Doolittle.
How do you do, Miss Doolittle?
How do you do?
Lady Boxington, Lord Boxington, Miss Doolittle.
How do you do?
How do you do?
And Freddie Ainsford Hill.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Miss Doolittle.
Good afternoon, Professor Higgins.
The first race, Miss Doolittle, was so exciting. I am so sorry you missed it.
Will it rain, do you think?
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain, but in Hertford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly happen.
That is awfully funny.
What is wrong with that young man? I bet I got it right.
Smashing.
If I was doing it proper, what would I get? Have I said anything?
Not at all, my dear.
Mercy. Anyhow, what I always say is,
I don't suppose there's enough time for the next race to place a bet. Come, my dear.
I'm afraid not, Colonel Pickering.
I've placed a bet on number 7, and I shall be so happy if you would take it. You'll enjoy the race ever so much more.
that's very kind of you.
His name is Dover.
Dover! 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 Come on! Move your blooming up!
Enamored by Eliza's beauty, Freddie Ainsford Hill sets out to visit Eliza with the intention of expressing his affection and devotion. However, on the way he meets a flower girl.
Are those for sale?
Yes, sir, a shilling.
Here.
Thank you kindly, sir.
It's a heavenly day, isn't it?
still at home?
Who shall I say is calling?
Freddie Ainsford Hill. And if she doesn't recognize me, tell her that I was the one who was sniggering at her.
Yes, sir.
And also, would you please give her these?
But I'm terribly sorry, sir. Miss Doolittle says she won't see anyone.
What? But why? She was magnificent.
Magnificent? Do you have the right address, sir?
Of course I do. Tell her. I'll wait.
But it might be days, sir, even weeks.
But don't you see? I'll be happier here.
I have often walked down the stream before, but the pavement always dead beneath my feet before. On that one semi, there are stories knowing I'm on the street where you live. Are the lilac trees in the heart of town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live.
Stop and say they don't fall. There's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. There's a dark woman I will tear apart. Can be here on the street where you live.
Can be here on the street where you
Post the mishap at the Ascot, where Eliza got carried away owing to her enthusiasm, Colonel Pickering is apprehensive of moving forward with the experiment. But Professor Higgins is resolute and awfully confident.
Higgins, if there's any mishap at the embassy tonight, if Miss Doolittle suffers any embarrassment or whatever, it's on your head alone. I've been begging you to call off this experiment ever since the Ascot.
Eliza can do anything.
Suppose she's discovered? Suppose she makes another ghastly mistake?
There'll be no horses at the ball, Pickering.
But think how agonizing it would be. God, if anything happened tonight, I don't know what I'd do.
You could always rejoin your regiment.
Higgins, the way you've driven her these last 6 months has exceeded all bounds of common. Oh, for God's sake, Higgins, stop pacing up and down.
The car is here, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Pierce. Are you helping Eliza?
Yes, sir.
Help her indeed. I bet the damn gown doesn't fit. I warned you about those French designers. You should have gone to a good English store where you knew everybody was on our side. Are you so sure she'll retain all you've hammered into her?
We shall see.
But suppose she doesn't?
Well, then I'll lose my bet.
What of the girl?
You act as if she doesn't matter at all. Ah, Miss Doolittle, you look beautiful.
Thank you, Colonel Pickering.
Don't you think so, Higgins?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
After her rigorous training, Eliza now is all set to charm the Queen and the other dignitaries at the prestigious embassy ball. Will this experiment of Professor Higgins prove to be a success, or will it culminate into a disaster? Sir Reginald and Lady Tyrington. Lord and Lady Boxington. Mrs. Althea Higgins. Professor Zoltan Karpathy. Colonel Hugh Pickering.
Mrs. Higgins. Well, she got by the first hurdle. The ambassador's wife was completely captivated.
I know. I've heard several people asking who she is. Do tell me what happened.
Higgins said, Madam Ambassador, may I? Miss Eliza Doolittle. And Madam Ambassador said, how do you do? And Eliza came right back with, how do you do?
Is that all?
Oh no, when it was my turn, both the ambassador and his wife said to me,
Colonel Pickering, who is that captivating creature with Professor Higgins?
And what did you say?
Well said, Eliza Doolittle. Mrs. Higgins, do you think Eliza will make it?
Oh, I hope so. I've grown terribly fond of that girl.
Professor Henry Higgins and Miss Eliza Doolittle. His Excellency, Dr. Themistocles Stephanos.
Ah, Maestro!
Oh.
You remember me?
No, I don't. Who the devil are you?
I am your first, your best, and greatest pupil. I am Zoltan Karpathy, that marvelous boy. I have made your name famous throughout Europe. You teach me phonetics. You can't forget me.
Why don't you shave?
Well, I have not your imposing appearance, your figure, your brow. Nobody noticed me when I shave.
Where did you find all those old coins?
Decorations for language. I speak 32 different languages. Well, Professor, you must introduce me to this glorious creature you escort this morning. She fascinates everyone.
I say, Higgins, let's not risk it. Let's collect her and leave immediately.
Henry, do you think it wise to stay?
Stay? Why not?
Professor, you must introduce me to her. Charming, charming.
And now arrives the Queen. after having attained what the trio had set out for, where Colonel Pickering and Professor Higgins returned triumphant, Eliza is thoroughly dejected, for she cannot stop wondering what will become of her. She is troubled by the uncertainty regarding her future. She cannot go back to her old life at Covent Garden. However, she cannot stay on at Higgins' residence either. She questions Higgins, only to receive a condescending reply. It seems that he is unable to understand her predicament and behaves callously.
Higgins, it was an immense achievement.
If I hadn't backed myself to do it, I should have chucked the whole thing up 2 months ago.
Absolutely fantastic.
A lot of tomfoolery.
Higgins, I salute you.
Nonsense. The silly people don't know their own silly business.
You did it, you did it.
It was nothing, Pickering. Really nothing.
Good night, Higgins.
Good night, Pickering. All I can say is, thank God it's all over. Now I can finally go to bed without dreading tomorrow. What on earth? What's the matter? Is anything wrong?
Nothing wrong with you. I've won your bet for you, haven't I? That's enough for you. I don't matter, I suppose.
You won my bet. You, presumptuous insect. I won it. What did you throw those slippers at me for?
Because I wanted to smash your face. Why didn't you leave me where you picked me out of the gutters? You thank God it's all over. And that now you can throw me back again there?
So, the creature is nervous after all. Ah, claws in you, you cat. How dare you show your temper to me? Sit down and be quiet.
What's to become of me? What's to become of me?
How do I know what's to become of you? What does it matter what becomes of you?
You don't care. I know you don't care. You wouldn't care if I was dead. I'm nothing to you. Not as much as them slippers.
Those slippers.
Those slippers. I don't think it made any difference now.
Why have you suddenly begun going on like that? May I ask whether you complain of your treatment here?
No.
Has anybody behaved badly with you? Colonel Pickering? Mrs. Pierce?
No.
You don't pretend that I treated you badly?
No.
I'm glad to hear it. Perhaps you're tired after the strain of the day. Have some chocolates?
No, thank you. Nothing more for you to worry about. Oh God, I wish I was dead. What's to become of me? Where am I to go?
Oh, that's what's worrying you, is it? I shouldn't bother about that, Eliza, if I were you. I should imagine you won't have much difficulty settling yourself somewhere or other. Though, I hadn't quite realized. you were going away. You might marry, you know. You see, Eliza, not all men are confirmed old bachelors like me and the Colonel. Most men are the marrying sort. Poor devils. And you're not bad looking. It's quite a pleasure to look at you sometimes. Not now, of course. You've been crying and look like the very devil. But when you're all right and quite yourself, you're what I should call attractive. Come, get a good night's rest and then get up and look at yourself in the mirror, and you won't feel so cheap. I dare say my mother could find you some chap or other who would do very well.
I sold flowers at Covent Garden. I didn't sell myself. Now you've made a lady of me. I'm not fit to sell anything else. Please, will you tell me what am I to do before you go, sir? Do my clothes belong to me or to Colonel Pickering?
What the devil use would they be to Pickering? Why need you start bothering about that in the middle of the night?
I want to know what I may take away with me. I don't want to be accused of stealing.
Stealing? You shouldn't have said that, Eliza. That shows a want of feeling.
I'm sorry. I'm only a common, ignorant girl. And in my station, I have to be careful. There cannot be any feelings between the like of you and the like of me. Please, will you tell me what belongs to me and what doesn't?
You have wounded me to the heart. You have caused me to lose my temper, a thing that has hardly happened to me ever before. You heartless gutter snipe!
Just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too late. You will be the one it's done, and you'll have no one to run. Just you wait.
Eliza is heartbroken and decides to leave the place, only to run into none other than Freddie Eynsford Hill, who has deep affection for her.
Are there lilac trees in the heart of the town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where she lives. And oh, the darling feeling to know that somehow she is near. The overpowering feeling that suddenly she may appear. People stop and stare, but they don't. Darling, darling, here. What are you doing here? Nothing. I spend most of my time here. Don't laugh at me, Miss Doolittle, but this
is the only place where I can be happy.
Freddie, do you also think I am a heartless gutter snipe?
Oh no, darling. How can you think of such a thing? You know how I feel. I've written to you 2 and 3 times a day, telling you sheets and sheets.
Words, words and words. I'm so sick of words. I get words all day through. First from him and now from you. Is that all you blighters can do? Don't talk of stars burning above. If you're in love, show me.
Darling. 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 After believing he had lost Eliza forever, Henry Higgins comes to his mother's place and is immensely surprised to find the object of his affection. They end up having a heart-to-heart conversation about what the future holds for them.
And you mean to say that after you did this wonderful thing for them, without making a single mistake, they just sat there and never said a word to you? Never petted you or admired you or told you how splendid you've been?
No, not a word.
That's simply appalling. I should have thrown the slippers at him too.
Mother, mother.
I thought it wouldn't be long. Stay where you are, my dear.
Mother, where the devil are you?
And remember, last night you not only danced with a prince, but you behaved like a princess.
Mother, the damned... You!
How do you do, Professor Higgins? Are you quite well?
Am I?
But of course you are. You are never ill. Would you care for some tea?
Don't you dare try that game on me. I taught it to you. Come home and don't be a fool. You've caused me enough trouble for one morning.
Very nicely put indeed, Henry. No woman could resist such an invitation.
How did this baggage get here in the first place?
Eliza came to see me, and I was delighted to have her. And if you don't promise to behave yourself, Henry, I would have to ask you to leave.
You mean I am to put on my Sunday manners for this thing I created out of the scorched cabbage leaves of the Covent Garden?
Yes, dear, that is precisely what I mean.
I'll see her damned first.
Eliza, how did you ever learn manners with my son around?
It was very difficult. I should never have known how ladies and gentlemen would behave if it hadn't been for Colonel Pickering. He always showed me that he felt and thought about me as if I was something better than just a common flower girl. You see, Mrs. Higgins, apart from the things one can pick up, the difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how she behaves, but how she is treated. I shall always be a flower girl
to Professor Higgins because he always treats me as a flower girl and always will. But I shall always be a lady to Colonel Pickering because he always treats me as a lady and always will.
Henry, please don't grind your teeth.
It's Higgins. The vicar is here. Shall I show him into the garden?
The vicar and the professor? Good heavens, no, I'll see him in the library. Eliza, if my son begins to break things, I give you full permission to have him evicted. And Henry dear, if I were you, I should stick to two subjects, the weather and your health.
Well, Eliza, you've had a bit of your own back, as you call it. Have you had enough? Are you going to be reasonable? Or do you want any more?
You want me back only to pick up your slippers and put up with your tempers and fetch and carry for you?
I haven't said I wanted you back at all.
Oh, indeed. Then what are we talking about?
About you, not about me. If you come back, I shall treat you just the way I have always treated you. I can't change my nature, and I don't intend to change my manners. My manners are exactly the same as Colonel Pickering's.
That's not true. Colonel Pickering treats a flower girl as if she were a duchess.
Oh, and I treat a duchess as if she was a flower girl.
Oh, I see. The same to everybody.
Just so. The great secret, Eliza, is not having good manners or bad manners or any particular sort of manners, but having the same manners for all human souls. The question is not whether I treat you rudely, but if you've seen me treat anyone else better.
I don't care how you treat me. I don't mind your swearing at me. I shouldn't mind a black eye. I've had one before this. But I won't be passed over.
Then get out of my way, or I won't stop for you. You talk about me as if I were a motor bus.
So you are a motor bus, all bounce and go, and no consideration for anyone. But don't think I cannot get along without you. I can.
I know you can. I told you you could. But you never wondered, I suppose, if I could get along without you.
Don't try to get around me. You'll have to.
And so I can without you or any other soul on earth. But I shall miss you, Eliza. I have learned something from your idiotic notions. I confess that humbly and gratefully.
Well, you have my voice on your gramophone. When you feel lonely without me, you can turn it on. It's got no feelings to hurt.
I can't turn your soul on.
Oh, you are a devil! You can twist the heart in a girl just as easily as some can twist her arms to hurt her. What am I to come back for?
For the fun of it. That's why I took you on.
And you may throw me out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
Yes, and you may walk out tomorrow morning if I don't do everything you want me to.
And live with my father?
Yes, or sell flowers. Or would you rather marry Pickering?
I wouldn't marry you if you asked me to. And you're nearer my age than him.
than he is.
I've had chaps enough waiting for me. Freddie Hill writes me twice and thrice times a day. Sheets and sheets.
Well, then just leave, Eliza. Let's see what is it you can do without me.
Professor Higgins walks back home from his mother's place and comes to a realization that he has grown attached to Eliza. Her absence makes him feel forlorn and dejected. He emotionally reviews the recording that he had first made when Eliza had first come for lessons. He then recalls his own harsh words. Eliza decides to come to his place for the last time, perhaps to bid farewell. Higgins is overjoyed and surprised at their reunion, and they finally confess their love for each other.
Kind of you to let me come.
Now, what is wrong with this blessed thing? How is it I can hear Eliza when the gramophone refuses to work? She left asking what was to become of her. Now I wonder what's to become of me. It seems I'm completely swooned over by her. Oh, Eliza, what have you done to me? I just cannot stop thinking about you. I have even started hearing your voice in my head.
I wish you had confessed your love to me. Then I wouldn't have left you.
Eliza, what are you doing here? I thought you left me for Freddie.
Freddie, I wouldn't leave you for the whole world. I love you with all my heart.
And I love you more. I was silly to deny my feelings and remain silent, but I won't make that mistake again.
Oh, Henry, you don't know how long I've waited to hear this from you.
Oh, forgive me, my dear, for having kept you waiting for so long. Now that I have you, I won't ever give you another reason to leave me again.
The meeting of two personalities is a remarkable mystery, and the growing devotion can truly transform them into more compassionate and accepting individuals. Henry Higgins and Eliza Doolittle found love in the most unexpected way. A delighted end to a wonderful story. I will now introduce the cast of My Fair Lady. Tashvi Rastogi and Adiba Anwar as the Lords. Satviki Shukla as George. Kashvi Singla as and Pia Agarwal and Kuhu as the maids. Aishwarya Singh and Aditri Gupta as the shooters. Nehal Vishwas, Navya Gupta and Vasvi Srivastav as the bystanders. Bhumi Gavri and Amna Fatima as Lord and Lady Boxington. Dania Abbas, Anvesha Srivastav and Zara Ali as the Flower Girls. Rifat Salam as the butler. Tanvi Khaneja as the waiter. Saisha Srivastav, Devashri Verma and Tarishi Khaneja as the queen, queen's consort and the prince respectively. Yashika Sachdeva as Kapati.
Ah, Professor, you must introduce me to her. Charming, charming.
Japneet Kaur as Mrs. Eynsford Hill.
Want me to catch pneumonia?
Hardika Narwani as Mrs. Hopkins.
Can buy your own drinks now, Alfie Doolittle. Fallen into a tub of butter you have.
Anugya Tiwari as Alfred Doolittle, along with his friends, played by Arpita Blotra and Shambhavi Kapoor.
I know she had a career in front of her. The sun is shining on Alfred P. Doolittle.
Manasvi Khare as Mrs. Higgins.
And you mean to say that after you did this wonderful thing for them without making a single mistake, they just sat there and never said a word to you?
Jigisha Rastogi as Freddie Eynsford Hill.
Oh no, darling. How can you think of such a thing? You know how I feel.
Shubhangi Chaurasia as Mrs. Pierce.
You must be reasonable, Mr. Higgins. Really, you must.
Divya Kriplani as Colonel Pickering.
I am Colonel Pickering. Who are you?
Ridhima Agarwal as Professor Henry Higgins.
Henry Higgins, author of Higgins Universal Alphabet.
Kamakshi Sharma as Eliza Doolittle.
No, I don't want the gold and the diamonds. I'm a good girl, I am.
I will now introduce the prop committee, which has played a fundamental role in the concert. Sarah Fatima, Mariam Hassan, Yashita Gupta, Fatima Rahman, Sanskriti Agarwal, Avni Agarwal, and Adya Kalra. The lead singers of the evening are Melanie Robinson, Pranya Agarwal, Myra Zaidi, Huria Fatima, Durba Gain, Isba Rahman, Sehaj Preet Kaur, Aradhya Sharma, Hiba Zehra Mirza, and Saram Joshi. The girls of the prop committee are Aliza Ali Zahir, Ruhi Malhotra, Myra Siddiqui, Shreya Mehta, Nandini Kumar, and Sanvi Singh. And I, Anshika Joshi, as the narrator of the play.
That was indeed an engrossing and entertaining play. A wonderful end to a delightful tale. Eliza finally transforms into a lady, and Higgins eventually realizes that he's a sentimental person after all. I now humbly request our distinguished chief guest, Lieutenant General Dr. Bipin Puri, to kindly come up and express his invaluable thoughts and insight after witnessing today's program.
Respected Principal Deborah Vani, distinguished guests, parents, Principal Lamartine, Carlisle, McFarland, and this wonderful, just wonderful, absolutely breathtaking group of students who just took our breath away. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I say something, I think let's give them a very, very loud round of applause. Well, let me begin with by saying that the performance was absolutely spellbinding, absolutely spectacular. I sincerely believe that the success of a musical play of this nature, which is taking you back a couple of 100 years ago and the English time, it requires, besides of course the lyrics, the thoughts, the writings, the speech, it is not only that, it is also a lot of delivery. It's a lot of the costumes which are absolutely dazzling, the synergy, the coordination, the singing. I think it's a package deal, so to say. So I think in that context, I think it has been a marvelous show, and I can tell you on behalf of my wife and myself, we are absolutely delighted. I need to say a couple of things. The students have done spectacular, but I also sincerely believe that it is the parents who push their children. They allow the children, they give them that avenue to go my child, go and be on the big stage. I have always believed, let me talk a little bit about myself as well. I did my class 1 to class 12 from Lamartine in Lucknow. But prior to class 1 Lamartine, I was in this school, St. Agnes's, in pre-primary. In those days, boys were allowed in pre-primary. And I did my pre-primary from this school, and so did my wife, who's here. And she was here for nearly about 4 to 5 years in St. Agnes. And so we go back for a long, long time. There is a definite connect with the school. But most importantly, what I sincerely believe, that this glorious tradition of 150 years, what the school has carried, these traditions and customs, and an amazing legacy of professionalism, of providing education of the highest order. And I think that perhaps takes it away. And I was just thinking to myself, if you just try and, to the parents I say this, there is a thing called as Pygmalion effect. A Pygmalion effect, you know what it means? This is actually to the teachers, to the educationists. When a teacher, as a teacher, I'm also a teacher, a medical teacher. When students come to us in school, college or whatever, if you raise the level, the bar higher than what you expect the students to achieve, you'll find that the students rise even higher. If the bar is here, the students will come here. But if you raise the bar there, you'll find that they reach higher. So I think Principal Deborah Bunny, you have done us all proud. The school, the parents, the teachers, the faculty, you've done us all proud. And we as parents, I can only say on behalf of the parents that it is a feeling of great, great pride when you see your child on stage. I think it's very important, parents, also to understand that when you see when you encourage your child to come on stage, to speak, to talk, to enact, you're giving them a stage presence, a confidence, something which is unbelievable, and you walk out, these children, these young girls, now becoming young ladies, when they face the world at large, they face the world and see eye to eye. And I think that's what we want to give our children. I think it is in that context, I once again congratulate the school on this glorious legacy that they have of not only academics, but also of such amazing, awesome cultural activity and growth. Once again, thank you all. Congratulations to the children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words, which will indelibly act as a source of inspiration for our young girls and help augment their unwavering drive for perfection. I now request our respected principal, Ms. Bunny, to address the gathering.
There are indeed no words to express the profundity of this moment and no measure of the pride it brings to the entire fraternity of Loreto Lucknow as we gather here today to celebrate the sesquicentennial jubilee of the presence of Loreto in Lucknow. And as I stand here absorbing the magnitude of this momentous milestone, I feel but compelled to express my ardent gratitude to those Loreto sisters, led by Mother Hogan, who took the arduous journey of 11 days, traveling by bullock cart all the way from Darjeeling to Lucknow in 1842, and established the first Loreto institution in Lucknow, later on to be followed by the establishment of St. Agnes's Loreto Day School, and then their twin schools, Pushpa Vidyalaya and Jagrati. In no way can we measure up to the foresight, vision, courage, commitment, and service that the pioneer sisters of Loreto possessed, their mission being solely to educate the girl child and to reach out to the marginalized. Words are insufficient to express our gratitude and reverence to them. We owe our very existence to them. I extend my sincere and utmost gratitude to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of King George Medical University, Lieutenant General Dr. Bipin Puri, for so graciously accepting our invitation to grace this event with his benign presence. We are truly grateful to you, sir, for sparing time from your busy schedule to be here with us this evening. And the same goes for you, ma'am. It's such a pleasure knowing that both of you have had part of your schooling in our school. I am immensely grateful to all the fathers, sisters, the religious and all the principals and guests for encouraging us with their esteemed presence this evening. Dear parents, I'm grateful to you for your invaluable presence here today. Children look forward to their loved ones coming to watch them exhibit their talents and skills, and it instills confidence in them, as Sir had rightly said. Thank you for your support and help in all the school activities. I am thankful to the DCP, Madam IPS Aparna Kaushik, for helping in maintaining law and order and for the smooth flow of traffic around the school premises today. A leader is as strong as her team is. I seize this opportunity to thank my team of efficient, enterprising, and talented staff members who have been working relentlessly behind the scene for months to ascertain that no stone is left unturned in achieving excellence at all costs. The backbone of all our school activities is our support staff, led by Mr. Abhishek Pandey. They are the ones whose labor and efforts are hardly noticed. I take this opportunity to thank each one of them for working unstintingly day and night to make the school premises adorn a festive look. And now, my dear students, you have once again raised the bar. If I may say so, that's a term our schoolgirls are familiar with because they use that quite often. And I tell them not to just maintain the standards, but to raise the bar. You have always risen to the occasion and given your best. You have tirelessly practiced for weeks on end, striving for excellence, despite many of you falling ill. But I'm certain that you will, all your life, remember that you were an integral part of the Jubilee celebrations. Notwithstanding the greatness of this gathering, I can assert this with utmost conviction that this milestone is only the commencement of the glorious years that are to follow. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, dear Miss. The staff and students of St. Agnes's Loreto Day School are profoundly grateful to you for your unflinching support and guidance. With this, we almost come to the end of today's program. But before you leave, on behalf of the Agnesian family, with great pride, I introduce to all of you the newly made Magnifique Heritage Room of St. Agnes's Loreto Day School that presents before us the incredible journey of our school, which has come a long way from its humble beginning to its present state of glory over a span of 150 years. The students, teachers, and even the building that houses the Magnifique Heritage have a remarkable story to tell. This story has been encapsulated in that special space that beckons us. After we sing the Loreto Chorus, we will request our chief guest, principals, distinguished guests, and parents to visit the Magnifique Heritage Room to witness the glorious legacy of our institution. A brief announcement for the parents regarding the dispersal of their wards. The parents of the children who were a part of the acting and choir may collect their wards from the front of the Mary Ward building. All the dancers may be collected from the side entrance of the main building near the EK office. I now request everyone to kindly rise for the Loreto chorus.